There is an invisible rift in the structure of your daily life, a reserved psychic portal that most people cross blindly every single day without ever noticing the golden key they carry between their fingers. They spend years on end trying to break open the doors of material success through physical exhaustion, muscular overload, and chronic fear. They cry in secret before the bills accumulating on the table, face the rigidity of days without perspective, and beg for a relief that seems never to arrive. Yet, upon awakening to a new dawn, they encounter strictly the same obstacles, the same locked doors, and the same feeling of suffocation in their chest. The error was never in your honesty, in your worth as an individual, or in your sincere desire to prosper. The cruel and silent error lies in the fact that you have been trying to force open the lock of life using the wrong tool on the wrong plane. Dr. Joseph Murphy dedicated over 4 decades of deep research to reveal a secret that ancient spiritual masters already knew. There is a secret law operating in the shadows of your consciousness, a hidden gear governing the flow of every single cent, every opportunity, and every miracle in your existence. When you approach the future driven by despair, rush, or the terror of lack, your dominant feeling is not one of abundance. It is one of absolute destitution. And your subconscious mind, which acts as a mathematical, impersonal, and inflexible law, does not respond to your beautiful words or your superficial desires. It absorbs with surgical precision the real feeling dwelling in the depths of your being. If your soul vibrates on the frequency of scarcity, your subconscious interprets that terror as a divine command and proceeds to lock, one by one, all the doors of supply around you. It is the devastating law of reversed effort, acting silently to perpetuate your pain. To understand the overwhelming force of this secret law and the way it alters matter, consider the real case of Harold Finch Hatton in 1949 in the city of Philadelphia. Harold was a 47-year-old fabric merchant who watched, helpless, the inevitable collapse of his family shop in the city center. Every night, as he closed the heavy wooden doors of his store, the air smelled of old dust and mold accumulated on the stranded cotton rolls. Under the dim light of a bulb hanging by a frayed wire, Harold opened his black-covered notebook and stared at the columns of red numbers. His chest contracted in an unbearable physical tightness. Cold sweat dripped down the back of his neck, and his mind entered a whirlpool of terrifying thoughts about ruin, the loss of his name, and the misery of his family. He spent hours of the night kneeling on the worn wooden floorboard, crying out to the heavens for help and begging God to send buyers for his inventory. However, the moment he stood up, the feeling dominating him from top to bottom was the absolute certainty of bankruptcy. Harold prayed mindlessly, asking for pathways to open, but slept and woke up immersed in the frequency of disaster. Because the deep mind is a neutral soil that faithfully multiplies the seed of the dominant emotion, Harold's shop sank even deeper into lawsuits, debt with suppliers, and absolute commercial isolation. His own mind was the invisible barrier, keeping the door of abundance locked under key. It was only upon coming into contact with the writings and lectures of Dr. Joseph Murphy that Harold understood the psychic trap in which he had imprisoned himself. He discovered that his prayer of desperate supplication functioned, in reality, as a vehement decree of destruction. He was feeding the deep mind with the vivid and detailed image of his own ruin. By drastically changing his internal method and applying the technique of nightly unlocking for 21 consecutive days before sleep, the energy surrounding his business underwent an unprecedented revolution. The very establishment that seemed doomed was approached by a large clothing chain for an exclusive supply contract, clearing years of liabilities in a few months. Diga isso em voz alta, ou repita em silêncio no seu coração. The secret law dissolves barriers and opens the door of my abundance. What took place in Harold Finch Hatton's journey was not a magical event, nor a fortuitous exception to the laws of the universe. It was the rigorous application of what we call here on the channel the key to subjective equivalence. This exclusive concept reveals a profound truth. The outer door of your financial life will never open as long as the inner door of your mind remains locked by fear and doubt. Your physical reality is merely the reflected projection of the subjective frequency you cultivate in the silence of your soul. The vast majority of people spend their entire lives trying to change the reflection in the mirror without ever altering the actual image. They switch jobs, cut essential expenses, work to the limit of physical exhaustion, and accumulate an overwhelming fatigue. Yet, they continue carrying the same mindset of a slave and the same expectation of scarcity within their chest. As long as your hidden image is that of someone who must fight against everything and everyone to survive, the universe will continue delivering precisely more resistance, more barriers, and more closed doors. The secret law revealed by Dr. Murphy is the definitive instrument to break this cycle of pain because it does not attempt to convince the external world of anything. It radically alters your state of consciousness. When you connect with infinite intelligence, knowing that the solution for your life already exists on the invisible plane and that your only job is to accept that reality as a present fact, all tension in your body dissipates. It is in this state of deep serenity that the secret door of abundance swings wide open before your eyes. Observe the abyssal difference between saying, "God, please open a door so I can pay my bills," and decreeing, "I give thanks for the door of infinite abundance that is already openly wide open for me now." The first phrase is born of lack, doubt, and the feeling of separation. The second phrase arises from the spiritual authority of one who recognizes their true nature as a legitimate heir of the Creator. The subconscious ignores the first statement because the feeling behind it is lack, but it is bound by divine law to execute the second, because the feeling accompanying it is complete fulfillment. If this truth resonates in the deepest part of your being, and you feel the definitive moment has arrived to master your mind and dissolve the barriers blocking your life, subscribe now to the Subconscious Code channel. By subscribing, you unite your consciousness with an environment focused on activating universal laws and receive daily the exact codes to rewrite your destiny. Reflect with gravity upon the way you have been conducting your inner temple. What kind of command have you been issuing to your deep mind in moments of silence? If you spend your time nourishing uncertainty and foreseeing the worst, understand that you are manually activating the lock of your own prosperity. Abandon the destructive habit of fighting life using the brute force of your conscious mind. Allow infinite intelligence to assume control of your path. The instant you accept the presence of divine opulence as an accomplished fact, all doors that seemed made of iron turn into dust, revealing the uninterrupted flow of riches that has always belonged to you by divine right. There is an invisible and absolutely inflexible mechanics operating at the center of your consciousness, a law of surgical precision that Dr. Joseph Murphy spent 4 decades demonstrating, and that strictly determines the shape of your destiny. It is the law of subjective alignment, the eternal principle that your deep mind is incapable of arguing, evaluating, or rejecting, that which your conscious mind accepts with emotion and conviction. The tragedy of modern human beings is spending life waging an exhausting physical battle against external circumstances. People try to alter their financial reality by changing jobs, accumulating tasks, cutting basic needs, and draining their vital energy. They do not realize they are trying to erase the shadow projected on the wall without ever touching the object generating the shadow. Your subconscious mind is the creative matrix of all forms. It is the invisible mold where matter is compacted before manifesting to your senses. To make this truth unquestionable, Dr. Murphy resorted to one of the most perfect metaphors in deep psychology. Your subconscious mind functions like the black soil of a fertile garden, while your conscious mind acts as the farmer tasked with selecting and depositing the seeds. The soil possesses no moral discernment. It asks no questions, passes no judgment on the farmer's intentions, and does not discriminate against the type of plant it will nourish. If you deposit in the earth the seed of a giant oak that will produce shelter and fruit for centuries, the soil welcomes that seed with total submission and mobilizes the earth's nutrients to make it germinate. But if you deposit in the same soil the seed of a poisonous plant loaded with thorns and toxins, the soil will welcome that seed with the exact same mathematical fidelity, using the same hidden energy to raise the poison to the surface. The vast majority of men and women spend their days fertilizing the soil of the deep mind with seeds of despair, indignation, and fear of poverty. When reading news of crisis, participating in conversations about lack of money, and feeling tightness in their chest before debts, they are driving seeds of destruction into the soil of infinite intelligence. And when the inevitable harvest brings more scarcity and more barriers, they weep and accuse fate, without realizing that the soil merely fulfilled its role of multiplying the seed delivered to it. Diga isso em voz alta, ou repita em silêncio no seu coração. My deep mind accepts only seeds of peace and opulence. There is another subtle obstacle keeping the door of abundance locked to millions of sincere seekers: ignorance about how the deep mind receives an order. The subconscious does not respond to memorized phrases, uttered mechanically by a voice trembling with terror. It responds solely and exclusively to the subjective feeling accompanying your thought. If you repeat statements of wealth during the day, but upon laying your head on the pillow, feel the vibration of terror and uncertainty, the subconscious will ignore your words of prosperity and materialize your feeling of terror. When your conscious desire enters a collision course with your deep feeling, the feeling wins 100% of the time. It is the inflexible law of reversed effort. The more you try to force your mind to believe in a miracle while your heart vibrates on the frequency of scarcity, the more the subconscious consolidates the block. The deep mind does not manifest what you desire on the outside. It materializes strictly what you feel to be your truth on the inside. That is why it becomes vital to install in your routine what we call, on the channel, the protocol of the inverse key. This technique consists of monitoring your consciousness with the vigilance of an untiring sentinel. At the exact instant a suggestion of limitation, lack, or insecurity tries to invade your mind, you must not fight against it, nor nourish the thought with anxiety. You must neutralize it in mid-air and decree the opposite spiritual truth with calm and conviction. Diga isso em voz alta, ou repita em silêncio no seu coração. The divine presence is my source and supplies me now. Consider now the metaphor of the mind as the bridge of an ocean liner in the middle of the sea. Your conscious mind is the captain remaining on the surface, observing the stars, evaluating charts, and issuing orders via the engine order telegraph. Your subconscious mind represents the engineers and sailors stationed in the depths of the ship in the engine room. The crew in the engine room does not see the ocean, does not evaluate the route, and does not question the orders received. If the captain, seized by a surge of panic or blindness, issues a direct order to turn the rudder toward the rocks and accelerate the engines to the maximum, the sailors in the engine room will simply obey the instruction. They will move the levers, and the ship will be dashed against the stones. For years, you have acted as a blind captain on the bridge of your destiny. You have sent repeated orders of helplessness, scarcity, and suffering down to the engine room of your subconscious. And your invisible crew has fulfilled those orders with terrifying precision. The time has come to take the helm of your existence with the authority of one who has understood the laws of the spirit. The infinite intelligence dwelling in your subconscious possesses unlimited resources, pathways unknown to the intellect, and forces capable of moving material mountains. No economic crisis, no record of bankruptcies, and no inherited limitation can stand when you learn to issue orders of victory and peace from your conscious mind. Poverty is not a natural state, nor a blessed trial sent by the Creator. Poverty is a psychic pathology, a symptom of disconnection from the supreme source sustaining the cosmos. Nature manifests abundance in every detail. Forests overflow with life, oceans display incalculable richness, and stars dot the firmament without any kind of rationing. Scarcity only gains life within the human mind that refuses to accept its divine inheritance. When you cleanse your subconscious of memories of pain, resentment, and smallness, the energy of prosperity circulates once again in your experience with the force of a spring tide. The right opportunities cross your path, profitable ideas emerge in the silence of your intuition, and the door of abundance opens without you needing to use brute force. Refuse to live on crumbs when the Father's banquet has been served for you since the foundation of the world. The power to rewrite your biography and open all locked doors is already deposited within you, awaiting only that you learn to pull the lever of your subconscious through the perfect alignment between thought and feeling. There is an unshakable peace, a deep and sacred calm taking hold of your being at the exact instant you finally understand that the universe does not operate through luck, violent struggle in the physical world, or extreme fatigue. Dr. Joseph Murphy spent his entire life demonstrating that the answer to every one of your prayers already exists on the plane of the supreme mind, even before your reason can articulate the first request. The reason so many individuals spend years on end imprisoned in financial scarcity, suffocating limitations, or the despair of locked doors is that they insist on praying from the vibration of the problem itself. They try to bargain with the divine source, offering their tears, pain, and suffering as if they were bargaining chips. However, the infinite intelligence dwelling in your subconscious is an immutable, loving, and absolutely impersonal law. It never responds to anguish or the disordered supplication of doubt. It responds solely and exclusively to the law of your own subjective acceptance. When you learn to silence your physical senses and apply scientific prayer with absolute serenity, the resistance of your intellect completely collapses. The knot of anxiety that tightened your chest dissolves like mist before the morning sun, and the invisible substance of life begins to mold external circumstances to reflect your internal victory. To pray scientifically is to align your soul with the perfect conclusion, resting in the unshakable feeling that what you decreed on the spiritual plane has already become an indisputable fact in matter. Approach this moment now with a calm, pacified heart, entirely purified of any resentment, fear, or haste. Disconnect from the demands of the day, drop your shoulders, relax your jaw, and feel the welcoming and protective presence of life, covering every inch of your being. We are going to perform at this exact instant a deep spiritual intervention, a sacred decree of liberation and opening to throw wide open the door of your abundance. Breathe deeply and slowly. Let the air renew your energy, and as you exhale, surrender all accumulated anxiety to the Supreme Mind. You are safe. The Divine Presence is in absolute command of your life. Feel the words of scientific prayer penetrate the fertile soil of your deep mind like a blessed rain of restoration. Absorb every spiritual command with the unshakable certainty that transformation has already begun in the invisible. The infinite intelligence dwelling in my subconscious mind is the creative source of the entire universe, and it opens now by the power of its silent presence, the door of unlimited abundance in my life. I recognize that the peace of God governs my mind, my home, and my affairs. All discord, fear, scarcity, and uncertainty are completely dissolved in the light of supreme truth. The wealth of the Creator flows into my reality in uninterrupted currents of opulence, peace, and prosperity. Money is a divine idea circulating freely in my experience, blessing my path and multiplying into infinite channels of utility and good. No barrier created by the physical world and no door locked by men can halt the progress of my journey. Because infinite wisdom opens perfect pathways of victory where before there was only impossibility. I surrender my tomorrow, my finances, and my family to the unshakable protection of the Divine Mind. The peace that surpasses all understanding guards my heart, and I rest in the absolute certainty that everything is already accomplished on the plane of spiritual perfection. I give thanks for the liberation, internal clarity, and infinite wealth materializing now in my present reality. So it is, and so it shall be forever. Feel the authority of this decree echoing in the depths of your spirit. Doubt has been eradicated, and your subconscious has accepted the command of triumph. There is no force in the physical world capable of revoking the spiritual law you have just activated in your deep mind. From this exact second, categorically refuse to listen to the old lies of limitation or apprehension. When the noise of the external world tries to disturb your inner temple along your journey, remember that the illusion of scarcity has already been destroyed by the light of your scientific prayer. Hold your head high and walk with the unshakable posture of one who recognizes their true identity. Diga isso em voz alta, ou repita em silêncio no seu coração. The peace of God governs my mind and blesses my life. You are not a limited or helpless being at the mercy of economic crises or world circumstances. You are the legitimate heir of divine wisdom, endowed with the supreme power to shape your reality through your subconscious mind. The blueprint of your victory has already been recorded in the depths of your being, and the Supreme Mind is aligning events to deliver to you the sacred harvest of your faith. If this message brought serenity to your soul and awakened the light of your consciousness, Subscribe now to the Subconscious Code channel and leave your like. By subscribing, you connect to this practical community of faith and strengthen your mind daily with the immutable laws of the Spirit. Before falling asleep tonight, as you lay your head on the pillow and feel your body relax completely, refuse any thought of concern or fear. Disconnect from the screens of the world, close your eyes in silence, place your right hand over the center of your chest, and gently repeat a word of power, like a lullaby for your subconscious. Abundance, abundance, abundance. Fall asleep, lulled by this feeling of realized victory. It is in the blessed silence of your sleep that your subconscious will work to build a radiant, prosperous, and deeply fulfilled tomorrow. Go in peace. The divine mind guards your rest and illuminates your path.